Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of AKP Sports Talk. As always, I'm Ari here with Korea. We're back after we were off a couple of days, but we're back on this trade deadline, MLB trade deadline day. Um, Obviously, I think it's 6 Eastern today, I believe. So we're about a little under 5 hours away from the deadline. It doesn't sound like we're going to have, and I hope we have some big moves, but based on what's being heard right now, it sounds like it might be not any big names moves, but hopefully things change. Obviously, a lot can change in 5 hours. So, we'll see what happens on there. It's obviously kind of tough for betting wise because you don't want to like bet on teams that are going to be like losing players obviously in the coming hours, but we still have plays that we like that that hopefully won't be impacted. So I guess we'll get right into your two best bets for today, Korea. What do you like for today?
Yeah, first off, as already mentioned, trade deadline is today, obviously 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. So, a lot of games, have potentially moving pieces. So it also makes it a little bit of a challenge to, get a good read on games because, some key guys in certain lineups may be a commendable trade at value. And so they may get pulled in the middle of the game. But I try to focus on two games where hopefully I don't see too much movement in terms of trade or anything like that before the 6 p.m. deadline. So first, we're going to go to the game that was a doubleheader yesterday, and we're taking the Orioles just through the first five here, minus half a run. I got it at minus 135 last night. I know it's increased to minus 140. I'll still take it there, but if it gets anywhere up to like minus 150, I'm just going to avoid and maybe just use the Orioles first five money line as like a parlay piece or something. But I like the Orioles today just through five. You're more backing Corbin Burns at home here. Obviously that's where he, it's kind of like backing Zach Wheeler at home. Obviously, not backing Zach Wheeler yesterday because he got shelled. But in this spot, I do love the Orioles today. Obviously, kind of in a bounce back spot. Obviously, this is kind of weird because it's only day two, but the series is almost coming to an end. Obviously, with both both teams playing a doubleheader on a Monday. Who would have thought that? But obviously, Orioles won game one. I believe. Jays won game two. Vladdy has been a really, really big key part of their bat recently. I think he totaled 16 total bases yesterday. But I don't think he has that much success today against Corbin Burns. I think the Jays bats kind of calmed down a little bit today. I think Corbin Burns at home, obviously a great system play up there. I think, he definitely does his job. And then on the other side, it's Chris Bassett starting for the Toronto Blue Jays. This Blue Jays team, obviously, a lot different now. They don't have Justin Turner now, obviously, in Seattle. We've been hearing about Vladimir Guerrero as a potential trade piece, but I think the more we get closer to the deadline, it looks like he may be staying as a Toronto Blue Jay. So, you never know, though. But I'm just more backing the Orioles at home, obviously, in this kind of avoiding, I've seen a lot of people take the Orioles full game, especially the run line, but I don't really like Craig Crumble in the ninth inning, especially how he's been recently. I just want to target the pitching matchup here for the first five. So I think the Orioles get out to a lead here. And that's what I'm mostly backing here. Just the Orioles to lead through five here. Nothing else really matters there. Just the Orioles to do their job here, get out to a lead, kind of bang up on Chris Bassett. Obviously, Chris Bassett, on the road, I don't really like him in this matchup here. So we're just taking the Orioles first five minus half a run here. We're getting it at minus 140 there on DraftKings right now. I wouldn't take it anywhere higher than 145 or 150. I just know that value is going to get higher and higher just because a lot of people are going to load up Orioles money line or Orioles one line or whatever in terms of their bets and parlays that they give out today. So I'm just on the Orioles first five here. Not have to worry about the bullpens or anything there. Orioles first five minus half a run there. And then we're going to go to St. Louis here and take the Rangers first five money line play here minus 130. This is more of a, Rangers bats against the wall here because bats because the Rangers, my goodness, this team is so bad at just hitting almost anything right now. They can't hit anything. And if they can't hit anything against Lance Lynn of all people, then it's going to be tough. I mean, I'm expecting just maybe one or two because I don't really trust their full lineup right now, especially against right-handed pitching. So, I know you have a play in this game later. So I'm just hoping that the Rangers get out to a lead here because I know Max Scherzer is going to do his job. I'm more backing Max Scherzer on the other side, who is starting for the Rangers today, and he has really good splits against most of the big names in this St. Louis in this Cardinals lineup today. Guys like Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt. I think Goldschmidt's like 6 for 20 with 7 Ks against Scherzer. So, those kind of guys, those big dependable guys for the St. Louis Cardinals, I don't think they do well today. I think they struggle, and I'm just more backing Scherzer, who has been a dependable ace for this Rangers team. I'm just backing him, obviously the veteran, backing him through 5, and just hoping that the Rangers can finally wake up, do have something with their offense, and hopefully maybe get a run or two across the plate, through 5. Don't really have to do too much there. I'm just more backing Scherzer, through the first 5 here. Not really targeting a total R. I know you'll get into that in a little bit, but I just love the fact that, the Rangers here, first 5, you look at, and this is also part of some line reading. Obviously, Rangers, the first 5 money line is about -130. The full game, I think, is around -118 or almost close to a pick 'em. So obviously the books also think that the Rangers get out to some kind of lead here, but the bullpen obviously, for the Rangers has been a little suspect as of late. So I do love the backing the Rangers here through the first 5, just asking them to get a lead. And obviously the thing we love about the first 5 money line is there is that push potential. So, if they do end up being tied, that's great for us because we also get our money back there. But I'm more backing the fact that the Rangers do get a lead here, obviously through 5, along with Scherzer just doing his job, and the Rangers maybe getting 1 or 2 across the plate there through 5. So those are my 2 plays today with the Orioles first 5 -0.5 a run there, just backing Corbin Burnes at home, and more of just fading Chris Bassett in the spot. Not a good spot against with the Orioles bats. Even though they've been consistent, whatever you want to call it. I do love their bats today. First 5 -0.5 a run at home, and then the Rangers first 5 just backing Max Scherzer in the spot. Like I said, he has good splits against this St. Louis Cardinals roster and lineup. And you look at the other side, the St. Louis Cardinals, they have Lance Lynn on the mound, and he has looked really good in some recent starts, but and then also the Rangers bats, this is more of a test for them. Like if they can't do anything against Lynn, then their bats are pretty much cooked right now. So I think the Rangers first 5 money line, a good play there, just asking for 1 or 2 runs to come across the plate. Those are my 2 picks today. Ari, what have you clicked up on this Tuesday?
Yeah, 2 plays for me as well. Like you said, I have 1 play in the Rangers Cardinals game, but we'll start off with the Mariners today, looking to bounce back after they got crushed yesterday. The final score they lost 14-7, so they made it somewhat respectable, but they were down big the whole game. It's the debut for James Paxton back with Boston after he was traded from the Dodgers. Castillo going for the Mariners, who it's a super high total. It's like 10.5. And Castillo with the home run ball against power hitters is definitely a bit of a concern for me against guys like Devers and O'Neill. I mean, even Duran, Yoshida, pretty much the entire top of the lineup for Boston. But I think the Mariners are going to get to Paxton in this one. It should be the debut for Justin Turner, if I'm not mistaken. And obviously, you still have Arozarena, who's been gone not to a good start with the Mariners. And the Mariners, hit lefties somewhat well, at least compared to, their numbers overall as a team on the season. So I like this spot as a bounce back spot after the Mariners got crushed yesterday, to bounce back against Boston, against a lefty in Paxton, who was like 8-2 on the season record-wise, but that's only because the Dodgers lineup gave him 1 billion runs of support. He had, an ERA of like 4.5 with an 8-2 record, which is kind of crazy, when you think about it. But so I like the Mariners to bounce back there, and then go into the game that you talked about earlier with Texas and the Cardinals. I'm going with the first 5 under 4.5. I agree. It's mostly backing Scherzer, against the Cardinals lineup, and then Lance Lynn, who, is a bit up and down, but he's been better at home this year. And even though the Rangers won on Monday, they just got swept by the Blue Jays over the weekend. And, that was a pretty embarrassing effort by their lineup, pretty much almost all 3 games. So I'm mostly I don't think it's going to be like a 0-0 type of thing, but, maybe 3-1 Rangers, 2-1 Rangers, something along those lines is what I'm looking at. So hopefully, we can both cash both our first 5 plays. So, those are my 2 plays: Mariners ML, and then Rangers Cardinals first 5 under 4.5.
Yeah, I do like that. Obviously, Mariners money line play for you. Obviously, me personally, just with personal interest, I'm avoiding the Mariners betting wise, but I do like that play for you. Obviously, familiar face on the other side. for the Red Sox. James Paxton, former Mariner himself. Obviously, he pitched for the Seattle Mariners for a brief stint, giving us a no-hitter as well. And so obviously some of the Mariner hitters now probably don't remember him, from years ago. But, some people got J.P. Crawford in that lineup, who's out, unfortunately. And some of the veterans potentially may have good splits against him. You mentioned, Justin Turner now probably going to be reporting soon or soonish for the Seattle Mariners, so he should be in the lineup today. You mentioned Rosarena as well, with his experience against him. And then on the other side, back in Castillo, obviously you mentioned Gilbert got absolutely torched yesterday, and, you can maybe credit it to some ticky-tacky calls or whatnot, but he still got torched at the end of the day. I do like Castillo in this bounce-back spot. One of the dangers right now is the Red Sox, and they're hitting against right-handed pitching. Obviously it's been really, really hot recently, but I do think the one caveat for the Red Sox is that their bullpen has been really torched recently. We saw it yesterday. The Mariners, even though they even the Red Sox got 14, the Mariners still, got 7 runs across the board in those latter innings against the Red Sox bullpen. So, I think in a lot closer, I don't think the Red Sox are going 14 runs again. But I think in a lot closer game, I do lean the Mariners as well with the bullpen advantage. So I do like the Mariners for you today. And then just going back off my play, just more backing, you're backing the total here. I'm just on the side here. So we're both kind of, going both on that same side of just backing the Rangers here and Max Scherzer. Obviously, you mentioned the splits against the Cardinals, not the greatest. I mean, you mentioned Lance Lynn a lot better at home, against the Rangers, who have been just absolutely abysmal compared to the World Series run last year. Just their offense, has not been pretty much present all season. They got swept by the Blue Jays, who also have pretty much sold off most of their key guys. They just traded away Kikuchi for a absolute haul. I don't know what the Astros were doing, but I mean, it's good for the Blue Jays. They got a steal for Kikuchi. So, and then obviously they gave up Justin Turner's, and there's rumors that they may be doing one more or whatnot. So the Blue Jays are in this weird spot right now, and then the Rangers definitely in a kind of backs against the wall kind of spot today. So that's why I'm on the first 5 money line, but I do like the first 5 under 4.5, just fading both of these offenses in this pitching matchup here. I do love both of your plays with the Mariners and Rangers first 5, Rangers Cardinals first 5 under for you. And then my 2 plays with the Rangers just on the first 5 money line, along with the Orioles first 5 minus half a run. You can find all of these plays on our Twitter below, AKP Sports Talk. We will have our full card post momentarily with both, obviously, full card video and everything post momentarily. That's going to do it for this episode. Obviously, we are getting closer and closer to August, which means the beginning of football season. Obviously, college football right around the corner, as we keep mentioning. NFL season just about less than a month away, obviously. Just counting down the Sundays. I think we're about 6 or 5 Sundays away from the first red zone day. So obviously very exciting times. But obviously, as Ari and I mentioned last week, Wednesday, I think Thursday is August 1st. We're going to be doing some lot more football content related stuff. Obviously, looking at NFL season futures alongside college football futures, potentially stuff like that. That's going to do it for this episode. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. That's Ari. I'm Korea. We'll be back tomorrow, win some money, and we will see you guys tomorrow.